red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding. What is up, people? We are getting ready for this draft. It's about to pop off. Peter pop off. You know what I mean? And I ain't selling no water. I'm out here selling dreams. Dreams for the fans and the teams, man. We finna find out what's going on with these boys. Hopefully, every team makes an improvement over these next couple of hours. If they don't, hey, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. It should be it's a dead giveaway. This is the time of the year where you can get it. Everybody looking to make a move. Everybody looking to make a win. Some people want to trade back. Some people want to trade up. Some people want to flip picks. For players, everybody got an opportunity. So, obviously, this is the Cooper Flagg draft. You know, so I mean, we know how the first couple of minutes of this gonna go. It's just gonna be we're gonna pretty much see some Cooper Flag highlights and stuff like that.
College basketball player.
And it's gonna be funny to see how they look together on even we don't even know if he's gonna get to play with, healthy players or not, but it is a possibility that he's going to a fully stacked team. One of the few rookies that's going to a fully stacked team. And I'll tell you what I know about stuff like this. When you go to a team where you have stars but they hurt, that team with those hurt players get that draft pick and they usually make a deep run into the playoffs. Now if you go to a team and that team is just um void of talent altogether, then obviously you're not gonna do much. But when you look at like Wiseman and um, even Tim Duncan, players like that, when they was able to go to teams that was already, they already had talent, but the key players was hurt, and that's how they was able to get to teams that were very good. And when that kind of stuff happened, you know, you can look out for it because it's a high probability that you know those guys are going to make it deep run into the playoff. Now, I don't think they're a championship level team yet, but I do think you know I do think they're a contending team. I do think they can really make some noise in the playoff if they get you know if they get everybody back and everybody working, everybody healthy. So, and of course, I'm talking about the Dallas Mavericks, the Dallas Maverick, whatever they're called. It's the team down 45, man. That's what we call them. The team down 45, and we never really liked them. Obviously, I liked Michael Finley, and I was cool with Sean Bradley, but and I was cool with Mark Cuban. I like Mark Cuban as an owner. Never liked no JJ Barrios and all that stuff. I never liked that. I ain't never even really liked no Dirk Nowitzki because I knew he wasn't gonna never go nowhere. He was just gonna stay in Dallas and shoot that little ugly fadeaway. You know, 7'4", 7'4" tall, shooting a one leg fadeaway, weighing 300 pounds. Come on, bro. Nobody don't got time for that. But it's the Cooper Flagg draft, and the draft is underway. So, I mean, we just gonna see how it go. I'm gonna be clicking back and forth over here, and we should be able to get a little action, right? You know, hopefully they don't give me no smoke. I don't want no smoke out the gate, man. I don't want no smoke out the gate. So maybe we can listen to something, and I'm gonna put it up and see how it go.
So the Mavs fans are really excited. There's an energy in the building tonight, and we got some cool interviews that we'll have as the night goes on. And I'm just thrilled to be here, guys. The Mavs fans in their front office, their owner Patrick Dumont is in town. They're thrilled and they can't wait.
Avery, would you still rather have Luka over Cooper Flagg?
Our group doing studies of all these guys. So much.
Man, give me Cooper Flagg.
Really?
Cooper Flagg and this team. Yeah, give me Cooper Flagg, man. This team is going to be tremendous once Kyrie Irving gets healthy. You still have Anthony Davis. If he's healthy, when he
Actually gonna
gets
keep
healthy,
the music going. So
this team,
maybe they don't
they're
strike.
going to re-sign
You know what I
Daniel
mean?
Gafford. Obviously, there's been talk about Kyrie Irving re-signing. This team is going to be built to be one of the best two-way teams in the league, and they didn't have to really sacrifice any of their depth. They have some quality young players coming off that bench. Klay Thompson is a champion. You're talking about a team, when they're healthy, got 3 future Hall of Famers with Kyrie, AD, and Klay Thompson. So this is really exciting. The Mavericks, their future is bright, but they have a window when they're healthy of the next 2 to 3 years with this roster as currently constructed.
Adam, you heard him. He said he would rather have Cooper Flagg. That's some high praise. So what is the team getting in Cooper?
Well, they are getting an elite two-way, not just prospect, but an elite two-way player, someone who's ready to impact the game right now. This is someone who was really comfortable dominating the game on the defensive end of the floor, not just on the ball, but off the ball as well. I said when he was in high school, this was the best non-7-foot shot blocker I'd ever seen. And you add the high steal rates to that. Then offensively, the growth we saw, a terrific passer, someone who made significant strides with not just his shooting, but also his self-creation this year. He's a very good athlete. He's exceptionally smart. And above all else, he is hyper competitive.
I believe he's a fabulous prospect, was always going to be the #1 pick in this draft, regardless of who was selecting. And this is the type of thing that can bring that Mavericks fan base back into a positive place, because obviously at the trade deadline, moving Luka Doncic to Los Angeles, whether that was a good move or not, it was undeniably unpopular. This is the type of thing, those ping pong balls bouncing Dallas's way, that can undo a lot of that and get this franchise back to a place where it can theoretically, in a few years, be in position to maybe compete at the top of the Western Conference again.
You remember when there was chatter that he might come back to Duke, and we all were like, stop this. This is nonsense. His mom told him something that has stuck with him since he was a kid. If you're the best player in the gym, it's time to find another gym. And Avery, he's going to find another gym there at American Airlines Center. But what's the biggest question for Cooper Flagg here when he enters the NBA?
Cooper's extraordinarily athlete, I love his ball handling skills. You know, he plays extremely well in transition. Adam and Gary hit on it from a defensive standpoint. I think Cooper Flagg is really good on and off the ball. He is as good a help side defender at this age as we've seen in a long time. I'm really just a little bit somewhat waiting on his mid-range game. If you look at some of the guys, you know, like a Jalen Williams from OKC Thunder, you look at Shea, they did a lot of damage in the mid-range. So I'm really looking to see how his mid-range games develop off the dribble, especially at the end of the shot clock. And there's some sort of a 9-1-1 with 5, 4, 3, 2 seconds left on the clock. Can he get his shot off? But this young man is not missing much. He just needs time. He just needs playing time. He's going to continue to get better and better. But I would say just that shot creation is something that I'm looking for him to continue to expand his game.
It's hard to imagine him not being a high-level NBA player for a long time, as long as injuries don't get in the way of those things, and sometimes they do. But barring something like that, he's just so great at so many different things on both ends of the court. He is going to be an all-star level guy for a long time, and I think, barring injury concerns, a future Hall of Famer. The question for me, and we're really nitpicking here, is like, how high is the ceiling actually? Because when you talk about a prospect the way we have talked about Cooper Flagg, at this point, we should be saying things like, and has a shot to go down as one of the greatest players who's ever played. That is what we said about Victor Wembanyama. It is what some people said about Anthony Davis coming out of college. And I don't hear people talk about Cooper Flagg that way too often. He was the best high school player in the country coming out of high school. He was the best college basketball player this past year, just turned in one of the greatest freshman seasons of all time. But do we really think in 20 years that he'll be one of the 20 best players who have ever lived? I don't hear people talk about that too often, and that is a little unusual given to this point in his life, he has been exceptional and exceeded all expectations.
So let's dig into that a little bit more. What do you have to be considered one of the all-time greats? You need to be considered an alpha-level creator on an NBA championship caliber team. And Coach talked about it, the self-creation. I think that was one of the two question marks coming into this season at Duke. It was the shooting and it was the self-creation. And that's still what we don't know. He got better in both of those areas, but is the type of alpha creator who can put an NBA championship caliber team on his back? We don't know that yet. There's only a handful of guys in the league who are that. Is Cooper going to be that? I think that is the question.
Well, we're going to find out in just about 45 minutes when it becomes official that Cooper Flagg is headed to Dallas to start his NBA career. Projected to go number 2 to the Spurs is Dylan Harper from Rutgers, and his teammate Ace Bailey, we're not really quite sure where he's going to end up. Not doing himself any favors. Worked out for 0 teams. He canceled a workout with the 76ers, who have the 3rd pick. Avery, what do you think about his decision to not work out for prospective teams? I was selected Cooper Flagg number 1 overall. The first player in Division I history with 700 points, 250 rebounds, 150 assists, 50 steals, and 50 blocks in a season. It is Flag Day in Dallas. Cooper Flagg headed to the Dallas Mavericks.
And Cooper Flagg is drafted, as we knew he would be, first overall to the Dallas Mavericks. I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty excited to see how he turns out. Let's see. Cause he really got them boing-yoing-yoings, man. I ain't gonna hold you. Cooper Flagg got them boing-yoing-yoings, and he one of them ones, man. He one of them ones that you hated to play against when you was in school. Like, I don't know if you I don't know if you played in a small country town like me, but in the country towns where I was from, it's always the towns that in between the country and the city. That's not quite city, but not quite country. And it's a bunch of Cooper Flaggs that's right there. That's like, you know, that 6'6", 6'7", you know, dribbling that up and down the court and doing all kind of dunks and all kind of stuff, and you're like, dang, these boys, they ain't normal, bro. They ain't normal. And then you get out there, and what happens is, you know, your coach want to match. How do you say? Kind of want to match the scenery, so to speak. So you don't start because you got the, you know, the counterpart of the people that's in that city. So you got your version of a Cooper Flagg that's nothing like their version of a Cooper Flagg. Your version of a Cooper Flagg is cheap. Their version of a Cooper Flagg is legit. Their version of a Cooper Flagg is like 5'7", you know, with the chicken wing dribble. Their version of Cooper Flagg is one of them ones. But it's the same kind of scenario, like the same kind of scenery. If you were decorating, it'll be like the same kind of pillows. So then you could put them all on the couch and they would all kind of match. So therefore, your version of Cooper Flagg is gonna play tonight. You're not gonna play. You understand what I'm saying? And so you sit there on the bench like, damn, I started every game to get us to the playoffs. So he can put in our version of the Cooper Flagg and their version of the Cooper Flagg is mopping the floor with the team by themselves. And it's not just one of them. It's usually like three of them. And they all 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". You know what I mean? And you out there with 2 5'7s and maybe a 6'6", you know what I mean? And maybe a 6'3", 6'4", you know what I mean? Something like that at power forward. And they got guards, all 6'5", 6'6", and above, zooming up and down the court, Cooper Flagging all over the place, right? Well, we know who's about to go next. I think okay, Ace Bailey was just picked to the let me put this over here so I can keep up. Excuse me. Oh no, they haven't picked yet. They finna pick though. They've been deliberating. They look like they've been deliberating. Yo, let's see what San Antonio gonna do. They finna do some funny style shit. I'm gonna tell you right now. If San Antonio do something stupid, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. They picked Dylan Harper, brother.
Dylan Harper one of the elite recruits in the country. Plays the point, has terrific size. At 6'6", can do a little bit of everything.
Dylan Harper, a production machine, comes from NBA pedigree, and his physical attributes jump off the page, and he certainly knows how to use his size to his advantage at the rim.
He is going to run the show for this team. I'm looking for Dylan Harper to have a massive season for the Rutgers Scarlet.
Obole able to collect it. Can't get it to go, but Harper able to fly in for the follow.
And you see how Penn State's going to guard him. Oh! Not from that far out. That's right. Right to Williams. Harper does not have numbers. He has that three. Harper inside to Bailey. That's pretty. Make it 5 out of 7 with a chance for more. Williams baseline. Oh, that was pretty. Putting it on. Harper into the basket. How about that defense? What a play. Spin move, almost lost it. Another spin move. Finds his fellow freshman. Harper now has a double-double. And he's got 2 more. Wow.
Just countless hours watching film, working on my game. Props to my teammates. They always trust me to make the right play, and they know I'm going to kick it. We've been terrific all season. Not only scoring the basketball, but doing it efficiently. Doing it for 2, doing it for 3, doing it for mid-range.
He's been absolutely phenomenal. He's been efficient. He's got to the foul line. This dude is a problem and a terrific pick-and-roll player. Plays in the open floor, can get to his pull-up, can make threes. Dylan Harper's a bucket getter.
Confident young man, so anytime he steps on the floor, he believes he's the best player on it.
And the thing that stands out to me is a poise that Dylan Harper plays with. He's always under control, never gets sped up, score at the rim, can score at the mid-range. He's a solid enough three-point shooter.
Dylan Harper has had a phenomenal freshman season. Rutgers runs a ton of offense through Dylan Harper.
And the one thing I love about him is his pace, his maturity, his ability not only to score the basketball, but do it with efficiency. Has done a terrific job of not only attacking in the paint, but also knocking down three-point shots.
Hey, it's funny, man, that look, it's gonna be crazy because they got a squad. They just I ain't gonna lie. San Antonio, man, you talk about lucky. You talk about luck. I wonder if San Antonio got a bunch of leprechauns out there. Charles Barkley said they got them big women eating churros. I think they got a bunch of skinny eating Lucky Charms out there. They the luckiest team in the league, bro. Dallas got lucky. They got the bing bing, every now and then. You know what? It seems like Dallas only get first round picks. But at the same time, Dallas might get their first round pick. It might be at the end of every era. But yo, that dog me, the Spurs, they get a high draft pick every couple of years. Even when they winning, it's like they got. And it always happened to be, the player that they want fall to them. I don't even know if oh, let me cut this off. I don't have to keep this right now. I don't even know if the daggone if Cooper Flagg would have been available, I don't even know if the Spurs would have took Cooper Flagg over Ace Bailey. You got to think about it, man. The Spurs might not have even needed Cooper Flagg like that. You understand what I'm saying? And you never know with these NBA. I know, he was the consensus number 1 and whoopity wop, but I don't know. Look, I don't know. Yeah, I got a little noise going on because I'm trying to watch and keep it going at the same time. But it's funny because now you got Phoenix. You don't know if they finna take Ace Bailey or not, but I got him queued up just in case because you know I have the look. He's sitting there looking like he don't want to go. I don't blame Money though. Daryl Moore, he ain't one of them ones to be honest. Let's see, Ace Bailey to go third, and then VJ. Bing, 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 bing. I don't know about BJ Ekram. I'm probably not gonna run a lot of clips, you know, because obviously I came in hot. I got playing, and you know this, that, and the third. I try to have the music on. You know, hopefully they let me live. They might hit me with the ping, bong, ping. I might take this video down even after I burn it because I really don't want to get no strikes on my channel. I'm trying to get my joints up. And I'm not necessarily getting a ton of support, you know, like I could be, but you know, you can't cry with spoiled milk. It's all fun and games. It's all for the people. You know, it's all for the people. We're gonna keep it going. You know, shout out to everybody that's everybody. And you know, I'm the only one doing like right now, I'm the only one in the Houston what's it called that's doing the stream. I think maybe I might be wrong. I think I did see Rockets Digest. Shout out to Rockets Digest. I think I did see Rocket Digest doing the oh my days. VJ Edgecombe is going up next. Third to the Philadelphia 76ers. Look, I wasn't prepared for this. I didn't even have but the top 3 videos in it. Listen, this was a orchestrated masterpiece by Ace Bailey to, you know, how you say, wiggle his way out of going to Philadelphia. I don't know what he's trying to get to, but he definitely got out of Philadelphia. Because Philadelphia was probably going to take Ace Bailey. And the way this thing just played out, wow. You talk about a turn of events. Ace Bailey has been the consensus 3rd overall pick. And as you heard it said today, even Wendy said over and over again, the draft starts at 3. And maybe I took that for the draft starts after 3, and maybe he meant this joint start at 3 because it just got lit, bro. I'm talking about it just went up. It just went up instantly. When this dude talked his way out of Philadelphia, bro, that was unsuspected. I'm not gonna hold you. I really honestly thought that Ace Bailey was going next.
Needs some help. Melendez flip it. Jones couldn't catch it cleanly. Knock away. Here's Edgecombe in the open floor. Hangs and gets the roll.
I'll tell you, not bad defense there by Melendez without fouling, but
there's none against Kugel. 7 to shoot.
Edgecombe went up.
Stumble, deflection, shot clock down to 4. Roach trying to find the open man. They do. Edgecombe got him.
He waited a while. He knocks down a 3. Swing for 3. Everything going Baylor's way. Up 7 here in the second.
It's a catch and shoot for Jones. Can't hit the 3. Kugel.
If you're in the comments, let me know who you think is going next. Let me know who you think is going next.
Nice pass. Ahead for Roach, and he lays it in.
Ace Bailey or Trey Johnson? Who's going next? Ace Bailey or Trey Johnson?
Shot clock is down to 12. 1-on-1 with O'Meara. The back end Murphy. Now he was a little loose with it. Edgecombe facing a double team. They work it around for Wright.
Again, the zone. That foul line is free.
Edgecombe, Splash City.
Oh my days!
It's
Listen, it's going crazy right now.
Call too,
and I know
handled it well
this is going to be the news tomorrow. Let me tell you, the news is going to be that Ace Bailey popped his way out of Philadelphia.
Stepping up.
And where is he going? Where is Ace Bailey actually going
We
to?
approach 1 minute to go. Loop it. O'Meara. Hand it off. Edgecombe. A blast to the rim plus the foul.
The big body, the foul line, the handoff. How
Let me
about
hear what he's
this
saying.
Effort, a little spin, a little juice.
Let me hear what he's saying. He's talking to Monica.
How about downhill?
He can be exciting.
He can. But I like that. Scott Drew, get the ball.
Just so tough. Opens up things for a lot of people.
Edgecombe.
There you go.
Flip with the left hand goes.
That's what he can do. Be explosive. Take advantage of that natural talent. They're going to get one of them quickly.
I agree.
Right. Airborne! That's a poster for Edgecombe.
And what a nice job. Little fake screen out here.
Well, O'Meara setting that back screen too. Got him open. DJ Edgecombe, great awareness. Great leaper. And Baylor hanging in there against the Blue Devils. 4 minutes here for Baylor.
Very much so. Little old-time scissor play, Celtics.
Edgecombe drives in, tried to loop it over the defender. The follow goes for Edgecombe and one.
Beautifully.
Well, his second jump right there, gets the ball in the air, doesn't quit on the play.
Hey, this team, this young man and his family is a very humble family, man. I really hope this guy succeeds coming from the Bahamas. You can tell, like, his family just is one of those families that just rooted in family and just stick by each other. Maybe they had, a small inkling of the sense that he was going to be able to make it. And look at Buddy Hill out there with his teeth, bro. He out there with his bars and his teeth, man. Yes. Get out there, buddy. Yes. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. He out there with him. Veneers, boy, I'm telling you. But listen, Ace Bailey, man. DJ Edgecombe. His family looked like one of those families that's just really down to earth, cool, laid back, but just they didn't grasp the actual concept of how good this dude actually was going to be in basketball. And here's the thing. If you play basketball in college and you just do your thing, this dream can come true for anybody. You think about it, man. They say these are 300 and some odd best players in the world. I give you one up. The 300 and something odd most dedicated players in the world. The 300 and something odd most ambitious players in the world. Yeah, you have to have the talent. Yeah, you have to have the physical attributes for the most part. But there's a certain level of dedication and just drive that's gonna get you to a level of a DJ Edgecombe that goes from the Bahamas, to play alongside an okay team and into the Final Four and into the NBA at pick number 3. Higher than what he was projected. Now, of course, a couple things had to fall in line. And they did. So now, pick number 3. Guess what that means? That means he get a bigger bag. Good for him, bad for his team. Right? I don't think it's a I don't think it's one of those things where let me see. Let's see what we got. Let's see who coming up next. Who's coming up next? Who's coming up next? Who's coming up next? Um, Charlotte is on the clock. Charlotte is on the clock, and with the fourth pick of the NBA draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Con Knipple. Con Knipple. That boy got the Con Knipple. I don't even know what that means, but hey. Boy, Con Knipple out there with a man, girl. That boy there out there. Yeah, buddy, like and subscribe. When you come in, like and subscribe. If you like the video, hey, why they keep showing that 10 for Houston Rockets, bro? Every time I see that pick number 10, I want to just Earl. 40 water. For real, bro. I want to dial up Earl and be like, ooh. Hey, nah. But look, I'm trying to wait till I at least get to 10 before I go on a tangent here. Right now, it's not about us. It's about Con Knipple. I'm not showing y'all no Con Knipple video. Let me tell you what I'm not finna do. I'm not finna just download every single video. And actually, I don't have all the videos in file. I only had a couple of them in file, and I'll get the ones that's important. I'll pull them up as I get to them. But yo, check this out, broski doski. One thing for sure, one thing I know. I mean, I guess I could just pull it up right here and just share my screen, but I don't know. Let's see how this goes. Do this like that. Do it like that, sugar. And I'm gonna do it like this, sugar. You know what gotta cut it off because I don't want to get flagged. I ain't know they be flagging boys for singing little clips. You know what I mean? But let's see what Monica Magnesi's over here talking about. She talking to Con Knipple. So, hey, Con Knipple. Look at he got them brothers out there with him. They all look like they come from the Children of the Cornbread. His brother's almost taller than him. They got that other brother over here. This young one is taller than him. Uncle. Oh man, that boy uncles and father, daddy and uncles out here balling, running the give and go, running the triangle. The flying Knipples running the triangle. Kingston, Cash, Kager, Kahn, Kinston, Kidman, all them boys ballers. And as usual, if he went this high, that younger brother that's taller than him, allowed to be number 1 overall. I wouldn't doubt it. Okay, let's see. What? Come on, Molly Wop. Come on, Millie Wop. Millie Rock. Kendrick Perkins talking about daddy drafted me, so you know he a genius. You was the biggest person in the world. You was the biggest person besides Shaq on the face of the planet, bro. Look. They looking at Ace Bailey. He got something going on, man. Ace Bailey got something up his sleeve, bro. He looking at the camera like he got something up his sleeve. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Ace Bailey got that face like he got that face like old boy on the last Boy Scout, man. Remember old boy on the last Boy Scout? When he was like, yeah, I got this. He was finna get ready to run up in there and go run the ball. And you see that look, and he ran in there and pulled that burner and started block him, running touchdowns, and he was flat, running touchdown. That's what Ace Bailey looked like. He looked like he got something going on, bro. It's up. Yeah, he getting a message back from a team. They're not gonna take you. They're not gonna take you. They finna take somebody else. We know the Jazz finna take somebody else. If I'm the Jazz, I take Ace Bailey. There is Ace Bailey. They took him, son. And guess what? Hey, let's see what Ace Bailey is talking about in the Utah.
Well, I can't remember a time there's been this much excitement around Rutgers basketball. It's certainly led with Ace Bailey. He fits the mold of an NBA superstar.
Well, Ace Bailey is a big-time talent. Bailey, what a feed and the flush.
Oh my goodness. Bailey looking in the rim on that one.
He was not looking in the rim, bro.
Like
Y'all.
getting better helps when you've got stuff you can't teach. Oh, Bailey can't beat that. Step back. Adds to it.
Oh, that is the cherry on top.
Ace Bailey going to Utah.
Good fight inside from the freshman.
What you think, Ace Bailey?
6'10", incredibly talented, has all the physical attributes for.
They long out there. Larry Markkinen, Ace Bailey.
Great size, great athleticism, has shot-making ability.
At 6'10", he's highly skilled, and you could argue one of the best athletes in all of college basketball. But it's really his offensive versatility that sets him apart. He's able to create scoring opportunities from just about anywhere on the floor.
But the sky is the limit for this kid, and when you watch him play, he has a real electricity about him.
Bailey just too strong, the finish. Deep two, Bailey smooth. Bailey on the attack. Stop, fade, off one leg. Pure, that is ridiculous. The whole arsenal early in this game. Maybe even more. Push it through. Bailey can't be stopped. Rice inside. Oh, man.
So how do you think? What you think? You think Utah gonna be?
No plays older than his class.
Utah gonna be better?
Man, Ace Bailey.
I think
On the attack, floats it up
You know,
and in, and the
with the
foul.
addition of
It's been
Ace
quite the
Bailey.
highlight reel by
Let
Ace
me tell you what I think about
Sitting
Utah.
on 38 with a chance for one
I
more.
think with the addition of
Continuing
Ace
without their leading
Bailey,
scorer, Bailey pulls up.
Utah becomes,
Back-to-back threes. 17 points, looking for more.
you know,
And
a
he's got
future
Bailey has
good
19.
team.
Make it 21. Bailey
Third
has
overall,
21. He's now
you got Larry
23.
Marketing, you got Ace Bailey. But the thing is
Bailey, tough three. My
by
goodness.
the time Ace Bailey really
points.
starts to come into his own, Larry Marketing to
Bailey,
be,
yep, up to 30 points.
There's really not anyone
you know,
else in college basketball that has the
he's
skill
not gonna
set
be,
and the tough shot making ability that Ace
you know,
Bailey has.
Larry Marketing is
We've
not
also
gonna be
watched some incredible
there
execution.
no more.
Bailey thinking it and executing. High IQ.
Especially in this league.
It'd be good if you can keep Larry Marketing just to have a floor facer
from film.
while Ace
saw every
Bailey,
kind
you
of
know, coming
defense
to
you
his
can
own.
imagine. We're 18 years old, getting guarded by 25-year-olds,
But
26-year-olds. And we wish another year or two with them.
I don't know. They're gonna get rid of Larry Marketing. And you gotta get rid of him now because you need to trade Larry Marketing and try to get. Hey, you think about it. They got Larry Marketing, they got Walker Kessler, they got Ace Bailey, and they actually got a, you know, they got a nice core
The offense is
in
flowing.
Utah.
Certainly impressive.
They don't got that one piece that just makes it over the top crack, but that's the start, man. Between Walker Kessler and Ace Bailey and I mean Larry Marketing is getting to be he almost the old head. How old is Larry Marketing at this point? Let's see. Larry Marketing. How old is Larry Marketing? The dude head look humongous on this picture. He know his head ain't built up like Scott Steiner around this bitch. 28. Not bad. Not bad. 28. Ace Bailey, what? Probably 19 years old or some joint like that. Okay, so you got a 28-year-old, 10 years older than your rookie. Walker Kessler, been in the league, what, 3 years? Man, you know, he's going to get better. Walker Kessler's going to continue to get better. And if they keep Walker Kessler, Utah can be a good team. If they keep Walker Kessler. If they trade, what I would do, this is a great time for them to trade Larry Marketing, to be honest. To be 100% honest, they smoking if they don't trade Larry Marketing, bro. I mean, real spiel. This is the real spiel about it. If they don't trade Larry Marketing, they messing up. Tell you why. Because now's a good time for them to play Larry Marketing into the trade deadline to get some wins. Trade Larry Marketing for some draft picks. You know, one of these teams like you know, maybe a team, maybe you can get a team like Oklahoma City who got a shit ton of picks that like tall shooters, maybe even Houston. You know, I like Larry Marketing. Don't get me wrong. I like Larry Marketing. And if they wanted to do some kind of trade that would send Larry Marketing to Houston and the picks that we have for from Phoenix or whatever, I would think about doing a trade that would give them some picks for Larry Marketing so he can come to Houston. And I think that would be, I mean, because obviously for me, you add Larry Marketing to a team with Kevin Durant, you really got a shooting team. You really have a high-powered shooting team. I'm supposed to be waiting until I get to 10. But since we're talking about Utah, what would Utah want for Larry Marketing at this point? You know, could we get him for, hey, look, we'll take Larry Marketing. We'll give you Phoenix's, 2029 or whatever it is, you know, somewhere around there. And we're not giving you Jabbar. We're not giving you. We might would come off for Torrey or Cam Whitmore. You know, Jay Sean Tate, Cam Whitmore, Phoenix pick for Larry Marketing. Hey, look, that's a good team. And Washington just took Trey Johnson from the Longhorns, from the Bighorns, Texas boy. Talking about the stars at night are big and bright. You know he a baller when he come from UT. Only thing about when you come from UT, you gotta worry about, look at his eyes. That boy eyes look like he got the, look at them. That boy been on that good. You know he on that good because he got on some, what he got on, some jams? That boy got on a skirt? Nah, that boy got on a prep school joint. Look almost like a skirt. That's fashionably ridiculous, bro. Who told that boy to wear that skirt up there, man? Everybody want to be an elite shooter. That's a nice little step, side step. Head fake, hezzy, pull up. Okay. So Trey Johnson, um, you know, Trey Johnson is gonna be good in Washington, but you know, who really cares what Washington does? You know what I mean? Like, who really cares what Washington does in real life? But if you think about it for what it is, Washington just traded away its projected star. They got Jordan Poole, and they thought Jordan Poole was gonna be that boy. Jordan Poole went out there and put up horrible numbers. He had a terrible run in Washington. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. And they was really smart to trade Jordan Poole before the draft. Because now what they're doing, they're saying, let's get Jordan Poole out of here. Kuzma gone. We bringing in a new player. We're gonna build a whole new culture centered around this draft. We got Alex Saw, Trey Johnson. Hey, I like that. I like that. You know what I mean? That boy out there with his pops and got your pops, man. You can have your sense of humor like that, man. That was funny. That was funny. Just say He say, Trey, what's on your mind right now? That he tried to lie on his age. That's funny. That's funny. Ace Bailey was trying to get to Washington, New Orleans, or Brooklyn. You going to Utah, boy? Vernon Maxwell will tell you something about Utah. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say it, man, because I'm on here and I'm gonna have a drink and I'm gonna go ahead and spit this shit to y'all right quick because I'm on here. Ain't nobody even listening, but if you made it this far into the stream, guess what? Fucked up. You're here now. So look, they drafted Ace Bailey knowing he didn't want to go to Utah, bro. If he didn't want to go to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love, he definitely don't want to go to no racist ass Utah. He gonna be out there with their Mormons and the mother sucking looking like Casper. And I ain't just talking about white people. I'm talking about they out there with sheets. Yeah, they got a hell of a fan base. Perkins talking about Utah got a hell of a fan base. Yeah, they got a hell of a fan base. But they not fans of you. They got a little different way of looking at certain people in Utah, man. And I'm pretty sure, you know, they're gonna embrace who they embrace. If you out there, you out there, and they're gonna be happy to have somebody. But even the fact that Danny Ainge is in Utah, and Danny Ainge knows he damn sure don't want to come to Utah, and he took him anyway. That's like F you, I don't care what you want. Like, why do you want somebody who don't want you? Because in your mind, your ego is too strong to let it pass. Your ego is too strong to let it pass. Jeremiah Fear just went to New Orleans. I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. That nigga hood cool than a mug. Your ego is too much to let it pass. In real life, if you know he don't want to go to Utah, you should have went on ahead and let him go to where he want to go to, because you feel like you have the power to just draft him and just make him happy. He's not gonna be happy there, and then you're gonna be mad because he's not happy, and you're gonna try to ruin his career because he don't want to be there. And then y'all gonna leak all kind of information about his attitude and whatever, and y'all know that it's a bunch of that going on out there. That some people know that psychologically, certain people might not be able to take that, and you putting that dude in a situation that's not going to be conducive to a person who don't want to be there. If he didn't want to be wherever it was, he didn't want to be in Philadelphia, it might have been because of Daryl Moore, it might have been because it's Philly. But he didn't want to be in Philly. He definitely probably didn't want to be in no Utah if he didn't want to be in Charlotte or wherever that was. So come on now. Jeremiah Fears remind me of Darren Williams. He remind me of Darren Williams. The way he shifty, you know. It ain't like a wah wah wah, you know, like shifty, but he know how to smoothly angle his body into the certain places he want to be. He got good court vision. He gonna be able to immediately, you know, make an impact on any team. So I think that as far as I'm concerned, that was a good pick for the Pelicans. And it allows them some flexibility to try to get some motion. Try to, maybe move somebody around or whatever. And it'll be good for him too. But definitely for the team. You got Zion out there. Hopefully, he don't pick up a lot of bad habits, eating habits. But I don't know what the big deal about Zion eating. I mean, I guess because he's not playing, but it's been known that Zion been trying to get out of New Orleans forever, and they're not letting him go. It's the same thing. He don't want to be in New Orleans. That's why he's not playing. If he'd have been in New York or something like that, you think he'd have been eating up all them snacks? Come on, bro. Who is next? Who is next? So the Brooklyn Nets is up next. And on the board up next, Colin Murray Boyles might be the next best available. Maybe. I don't know. If I'm Brooklyn, I'm taking Kamal Mollywop or Casper's Giacasino or whatever his name is. Reason why is because Casper's being able to pass over the defense. Y'all really need to set your organization up. Get you a point guard that can run your organization and build around that, or get you a center that can anchor your defense and build around that. So I don't think all that other stuff, Casper's, Yako, Sionis, that's probably who I would either go with him or Kamal Mollywop. I don't even care if somebody is a little bit better than him or a little bit, he had a little bit better. No, I'm going to get a player that can anchor my defense or a player that can run my offense, and I'm going to build from there. Because you got decent players, but you might not got that anchor. You got Nick Claxton and Cam Johnson and this, that, and the third, but you don't really got a point guard. Bring that point guard in and let that point guard facilitate, or either bring that center in and now you anchor your defense with that center and Nick Claxton. And I know Nick Claxton's supposed to be a center, but I don't know. I mean, he ain't really made no noise. He was talking about how good he is, but he ain't made no noise. He haven't. Nick Claxton done been good, but he ain't been good enough to change the trajectory of that team. Sheesh. Brooklyn got what? Oh, they got 5 shots at what? They got 5 picks? Colin Murray boys, man, look. And Senga is probably good. He balls. That boy got the energy. They took Diego Demon. They took the best playmaker by their standards. Born in Russia, grew up in Moscow. Yegor Demon. I don't know how I feel about this pick, but you know, he might be one of them ones, man. He might be one of them ones. Did he got a little Drago in him? Did he got a little, you know, he got a little big Russian in him? Like just that viciousness that Drago had? Can he kill Apollo? Nah, he ain't that boy. %28 from three is crazy for anybody of the lighter complexion. You can't be that lighter complexion and shoot 28% from three and really be respected in the league. Ask Josh Giddey about that. Josh Giddey can go out there and get you 30 points, but because he ain't respected from three, trade him. But they smoking. See, let me tell you something. This is what I be saying about the NBA. Oh, guards is the most important in the NBA right now. Everybody doing what everybody doing. Okay, go ahead, do that. Do that. And let me come out here with 4 7-footers. And let's see how you play basketball. All that crossover, pat, I'm gonna break your man ankles and get to the rim. What you gonna do when you get there? You gonna cross them over and do what? Because I'm gonna run a zone. I'm gonna give 4 7-foot. If you come out there with all these little bit ass players against me, let me tell you something. I know it. I know people saying, man, but you can't do that because the little man way quicker and he can get around you. But what are he gonna do when he get around you? Ask Jalen Brunson. He get his points, but you can't do too much else. And guess what that means? That means somebody on my team got a mismatch too. Because you got somebody, oh yeah, you quick, you can get around me, but guess what happened when we go back down the court? I got a mismatch. And because you quick and you can get around me, guess what that means? That means you're not shooting the three. So you're not even taking advantage of the fact that you got guards on the floor. Because now you got to try to beat me off the dribble. You got to try to get inside and take a shot. Because unless you're going to shoot 30, 35 footers all game long, because we're going to push up on the three-point line. You're going to run the screen. We're going to switch that. You're going to have to go ahead and dribble and go to the goal. I'm going to have 2 big men back there waiting on you to come in. You're going to either have to come in and kick it out to the three-point line every single time. And then you're going to come in. I'm going to have that man slide over. You're going to have to kick it all the way to the other side. The other man going to rotate to the weak side of the ball. Listen, and it ain't going to take him long to get there because we seen Robert Williams do it when he played for Boston. So by the time you swing the ball all the way weak side and get to that man, I got a big man over there waiting to jump out there on him. And he going to still run you off the line at the end of your shot clock. And you're going to go in, and you're going to shoot a 2, or you're going to throw the alley. And guess what? That's what I want you to do. because I'm gonna run right down here, and one of them little people you got, I'm gonna post him up, easy 2 points. And we're gonna run back down here on the other side, and you're gonna do all that same stuff over again, and you're gonna try to get off a 3. I'm crowding the line. I'm gonna make you drive and shoot your 2-pointer, layup, or try to get fouled over these big guys. I wish somebody would. Now, the difference is that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is 6'7", and Tally Burton is what, 6'4", 6'5". These big guards. If you got a big guard, like a legit big guard, okay, I can see that. But if I got an Ace Bailey at 6'10" and he play like a guard, guess where I'm putting him? At the 2. And guess what? You can't play defense on the 2? Learn. You a 2. Why would you do that? They ain't gonna do that. Why would you do that? They ain't gonna do that. But guess what? I don't care what everybody else is gonna do. I'm telling you why the league is stupid as hell. Because you got a 6'7" point guard, but you can't have a 6'10" shooting guard.
That's some dysfunctional shit.
It don't make no sense to me. I don't like when they be talking that, hey, you know, this, that, and the third, nobody, you know, the league is changed to this, the league is changed. Yeah, the league changed to that because everybody was trying to follow suit to play the way a certain team was playing. This team was playing a certain way. Another team came in playing that way and got better than that team. And every team tried to leapfrog into the best position of that. Every now and again, somebody comes along and they play like this. The Toronto Raptors. With the 9th pick overall, the Toronto Raptors select Colin Murray Boys, Florida from South Carolina. Look, this is what I'm talking about. I mean, he matches what they're doing in Toronto anyway. But this hurt. This hurt so much. Because this is the 9th pick overall. It just means that Houston could have drafted Kaman Malawak. Do you know? Now, this is what I've been waiting to tell y'all. If Houston keeps Jalen, don't trade for Jalen. I mean, don't trade for Kevin. Look, I don't care about all that. I don't care about the Jalen and the Kevin Durant. All I want to say is, if we keep this 10th overall pick, if I'm Houston, let me tell you what I'm doing right now. I'm calling Phoenix and say, hey, I'll give you both of your other picks back right now for this 10. And I want to take this center right now. I want to take this center because it establishes you going forward. Yes, you got LP. But what if somebody wants LP and you can replace him right now and find out? You can find out right now if you got an LP replacement, and then you can look down the line and say, hey, if Giannis comes available, we don't mind letting LP go because Kaman Malawak is probably better than LP. We can find out. This is the problem I had, man, with the whole trading of the pick. You don't just Sudanese. You don't just be Sudanese and be 7-7 and don't contribute to winning some kind of way. And listen, the people that everybody was talking about was good is not even in the top 10, bro. None of the people that people was talking about was good players, not even in the top 10. They're gonna be in the top 20, maybe in the top 15, maybe. So with this pick right here, the Houston Rockets did trade this pick for Kevin Durant. We also traded Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and obviously that's what they're talking about on TV. Phoenix got to get it right. No, they don't have to get it right because nobody cares what they do. Actually, Houston has to get it right because it matters to Houston. Listen, the best available. They have Kamal Maliwak as the best available at 10, and Derek Queen was rated above him at times. Kasparis was rated above him at times. All these players was rated above Kamal Maliwak. But now all of a sudden, coming into the today, he's all of a sudden the 10th, the best rated player, the number 10th rated player to go to Duke. But when the Rockets had the pick, he was never the 10th rated player, bro. He was always rated 6 or 7 or 13 or 14. 15. He started out at like 20 something, and then he went up, and then he was like 7 or 8, 6 or 7. But now all of a sudden, he's the 10th rated player. Man, let me tell you something about conspiracies. Conspiracies only mean somebody, 2 or 3 people working together to do some shit. The theory part of it is what I do. I do the theory part of it. I do the nobody had Kamal Maliwak ranked at 10, bro. Nobody had Kamal Maliwak ranked at 10. Tell me I'm lying. Show me the person who said he was the 10th ranked player. Who mocked him to Houston ever. And then you want to tell me they don't be conspiring to do shit in the league? Child, please. Y'all not finna sit here and play on my top. All day long, man. These scouts and these media people and these league exec, they play in your faces all day long, bro. Kamal Maliwak was never mocked at 10 to Houston Rockets on no mock draft. Not Woj, not Mel Kiper, not Kendrick Perkins, Malika, Ski Ball, Jay Billish, nobody. Nobody. Monica McNutt, Chip and Dale, nobody. Nobody said Kamal Maliwak was ranked at 10 to Houston. And now all of a sudden, 10. Come on, man. Let me check my joints over here and see if ain't nobody in my chat. Make sure I ain't leaving nobody hanging out to dry. Anybody in the chat? If you're in the chat, if you're in there watching, somebody say something. Stand up if you're in there saying something, man. Anybody here? Anybody want to come up? If you want to come up, hit the like, hit the link. No, nobody want to come up? Hey, you don't want to come up, stay where you're at. I'm mad. Arr. Come on, Maliwak, you think it's time for him? No, they told you it was time for him. If they didn't have his name at 10, you'd never say that. There you go. Look, best player in the draft right there. That's not no Hashim to beat right there, man. That's not no Hashim to beat. That's not no Hashim to beat. You see what I'm saying? Hashim to beat was, he got up there and he thought he was the shit. Come on, Mollywalk out here with his emotions on his sleeve, bro. Huh. You see what I'm saying? What they call a cab, a motorcycle with the little thing on the back. Somebody stopped him and said, "Hey, you need to start playing basketball." And I guess they put it on their mind, and that boy started hooping. He young in the game. He just now started out not too long ago. 5 years or something like that. And every year he get better and better. Now he the 10th pick in the draft. Could have came to Houston, going to Phoenix. Look, Alan Silver about to cry. That boy gonna be a dog, man. Born in South Sudan, grew up in Uganda. That means that boy grew up in extreme chaos. He went to NBA Academy Africa. from 17% rebound percentage and 71% from the field. That's 8 both ways. 81 dunks on the season. Dunking everything you see. Everybody over there boohooing out. I'm a little choked. I hear my own though, man. I'm a little choked up, but I hear my own. That boy said he got the whole continent on his back, man. That boy said he got the whole continent on his back. And that's what you gotta do, man. You gotta be delusional about your dreams. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta be delusional, bro. If you ain't delusional, if you don't got something in your head that just tell you that I can, you know what, man, I could just wake up in the morning and I can just go ahead and start this shit and just jump down and it's gonna go up. Then something wrong with you. Because you have to understand that's part of your nature as a human being is to have a little bit of delusion about your dreams. I mean, it's actually in the words. I mean, never mind that. Never mind that part of it. The fact that that's what it is. But I understand what he's saying because you have to have something in you that make you feel like, you know what? I mean, at any given time, bro, you can have something and it'd be like, boom, I can do that. And then you just either gonna do it and be good at it, or you're gonna do it and not be so good at it. And then you will find out. But you have to have that in you that you can do it. That's that delusional part. And it's the I can be great at it. You really feel like you can do that and be great. Sometimes I just take on a challenge, some stuff I've never done before, and I'll be like, I'm gonna be great at like I never say I'm gonna be great at it, but I just feel like in my mind that I'm just naturally great at it, even though I've never done it before. Like, oh, you know what? I can do that. My brother will call me here and say, man, I'm thinking about doing such and such and such. I'll be like, hold up, man. Don't do that just yet. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna knock that out for you. I'm gonna do that. I got you. Portland is up at 11. Oh, the Houston Rockets traded the draft rights to Kamal Rock. Well, we already knew that. I thought he was finna say they try to get him back. I was about to spaz up in here. Y'all was about to never hear nobody spaz like I was gonna spaz. I might would have cut the whole stream off and started another stream. Oh, Cedric Coward went to Portland. With the 11th pick of the draft, Cedric Coward is drafted by the Portland Trailblazers. From Washington State. You know, thing about Cedric Coward is going to be one of them players that make a name for himself just from being a dog if he keep his head on straight, and he going to be one of them guys that you remember because he's a grinder. He's actually like he gonna be able to develop into, you know, one of those guys that you remember from his energy level of from making the pesky plays and just being able to just be in the right place at the right time and impact be an impact player, you know. I actually like his shooting form. It's a little bit, little hitch in it, but I think he got a nice shooting form. And hey, Cedric Howard is gonna be all right for Portland. They need everything they can get in Portland. But if you really look at what they got, they drafted that the one that was supposed to be, you know, um Scoop. They drafted Scoop, and then they got Klingon, and they got a couple of players, and they just got Drew Holiday to help two scoot up, and they're gonna be an okay team in Portland if they continue to develop. Yeah, I feel him. I feel him. They want him to relax and not be so uptight. But if you just tense, you just one of those intense people. You just intense like that. You bring that energy, and that's how you got to where you at because you was able to suppress some level of complacency, you know, and or that you have something in you that just makes you naturally high strung, and you have to try to hold that down, and maybe that's what kind of allows him to be so, you know, boom, 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 spot on his reads or whatever the case may be. Which offensively he'll have to learn how to make better reads, but you know, you got that, like that. How do you say instinctive ability to be able to get to where you need to be and focus in and lock in on certain parts of the game that you can be impact, you can be valuable on, and it's gonna take him. So I agree with him. You know, you can't really let your shoulders down right now because you still got interviews, you still got press conferences, you got this person and that person to talk to. You got to pack, you got to get loaded, you got to get moved, you got to get to wherever you got to go, training camp or whatever you got to do next. So I don't know what they have going on, but whatever it is, you can't stop now. You can stop after the next season. After this season is over with, then you can do your thing. You might have a little party tonight, but ain't no room to just let your shoulder down. Even the party is part of your routine at this point. Who is up next? Who is up next? Um, let me see. Let me see. Yeah, Cedric Howard. Okay. The Chicago Bulls picks is in. Let me get y'all back over here so we can take a little gander at what's going on over here real quick. I'm going to move this right here, then I'm gonna go up. Let's see. Screen. And I want to go to a different joint right here. Let's
says the physical tools were undeniable. And like Norlander said, everybody who talks to this young man, spends time with him, walks away impressed. And I can just tell you, having lived in Memphis and being a part of that organization, they really value that stuff. Like they don't just
I'm gonna cut the
draft
music
Jaren
on
Jackson
just so
Jr.
you know.
because they think he's an amazing, versatile
I'm gonna cut the
big.
music
They
on
really
just so they don't
liked
try to hit me with
everything
the
about
wham
the
bam.
makeup
Thank you,
of
man.
Jaren Jackson Jr.
But
And
if you
Cedric
come in,
Howard checks a lot of those boxes.
Well, he was about to go to Duke, and he stays and keeps his name in the draft here. I mean, that speaks volumes already as it is for him that he was going to go to Duke. Instead, he goes to the NBA because they don't just let anybody walk into Duke and play basketball there.
No, and the wing was the priority position at Duke this offseason, so they got him done really early. But then even before the Combine, I was actually told that while he made it public following the Combine that he let Duke know a week before because some of his very early, the initial NBA visits had gone so well, he knew, he said, hey, I got to stay in this draft. And let me make this point as well about Memphis. They struck gold in last year's draft with Jalen Wells, so they moved Desmond Bane out. And now with Coward and Wells, the hope is that those are your wings long-term. Coward's 23 years old.
That's right.
So he's 5 years older than a lot of these freshmen. So this is a pick that needs a somewhat immediate return because they want to compete right now. GP, you can speak to this better than I can, but you tweeted they're not trading John Morant, they're not trading Jaren Jackson, they're trying to win. And so Coward, if he can contribute at a low salary number associated with this pick, then it makes sense.
Yeah, one of the big misconceptions when the Grizzlies traded Desmond Bane, on a national level at least, was that this might be the first step towards moving Jaren Jackson or John Morant. They're not trying to rebuild. They're trying to compete in the West, and they hope this player can help them do that.
Well, a trade here nets the Grizzlies. Cedric Coward, a phenomenal story, goes from D3 to a first-round pick, so that means Portland will be picking 16. The Chicago Bulls, their pick is in. Our first international prospect off the board. That's coming up here on CBS Sports HQ. On the clock coverage presented by Jeep.
Here we go. The 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 glorious Sundays.
What are we going to do about it? I've got an idea.
Let's go.
NCIS, Tony and Ziva streaming this fall on Paramount Plus.
One of the best movies of the year is now streaming on Paramount Plus. What are we dealing with here?
There's a hostage situation.
Get the crew in. It's gripping from beginning to end.
We can't make one mistake.
September 5, now streaming on Paramount Plus. The most original musical ever is now streaming on Paramount Plus. I'm just giving the people what they want. Better Man absolutely sizzles from start to finish. Better Man, now streaming on Paramount Plus. This is Chicago. Street's always gonna have a villain.
To protect the city, we have to do something. Women, it's time to get to work.
The Shot, new season streaming May 16th, only on the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan.
These are the voyages of the Patrick Starship Enterprise. Where's the sponge?
Weird dream.
Whether you like SpongeBob, Star Trek, or both, find your mountain on Paramount Plus.
Hi. Novocaine?
Novocaine!
Novocaine is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
You're gonna love this.
Oh, you're strong!
It's wildly entertaining and an absolute blast.
I'm in.
Novocaine, rated R, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I wasn't ready to die.
The wait is over.
I need to know what happened.
Discover the mystery everyone's been talking about. School Spirits, every episode of all seasons now streaming on Paramount Plus.
What's he like? The happy-faced killer?
You mean my dad? Be glad you never have to know.
You think that you're so much better than me. You're just like your old man.
I'm not like you at all.
Broke himself. Mobland, new series now streaming on Paramount Plus.
She knows. She knows. And I know she knows. And it goes a little something like this. Here we go.
Back here on CBS Sports HQ, on the clock presented by Jeep. There's only one. The Chicago Bulls selecting the first international prospect off the board, Noah Essengay. And if you remember last year, they took an international prospect in Matas Uzelis. And Adam, a grade here for the Chicago Bulls, 12th overall. getting the Frenchman, Noah Essengay.
Yeah, it's a B. I mean, this is an upside swing, which at this point in the draft is a little more justifiable than it was in the mid-lottery, I think. So what you have in Essengay is one of the youngest players in the draft. He's 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan. He's also one of the best athletes in the draft, not just in terms of his leaping ability, but in terms of his court coverage. Now, he was playing professionally in Germany, and although he's still got to refine his game and build up his body, he was impactful at a high level of international play. He's also physical, even though he's got to get stronger, has a terrific free throw rate. So there's a lot of things to be encouraged about, although he still does have to refine his game. I think for the Bulls, like I said, the upside swing makes some sense.
And that's what it is. You're betting on what he can be 3 years from now, not what he is yesterday or today. He's only 18 years old. He's a fluid athlete. He can drive it, but like so many of these young guys, the swing skill is the shot. He's not a great shooter. He's not a good shooter, but he has gotten better in that area. And so the hope is when you select an 18-year-old at this point in the draft, that improvement continues to show itself as he gets into his NBA career.
All right, we got another trade here between the Atlanta Hawks and the New Orleans Pelicans. According to an ESPN report, what's happening right now, the Atlanta Hawks are trading the 13th pick to the Pelicans for number 23 and a 2026 first-round pick. And we have learned right now that Derek Queen is
going to the Atlanta Hawks.
So now you got Zion Williamson and you got Derek Queen in your franchise right there. Derek Queen, you make a trade here.
Derek Queen is going to the Atlanta Hawks, so I think that's going to be a good pick for the Atlanta Hawks because they really need a center. And I think with Trey still being a very good, I bet it might have been an echo on it. If it was an echo, my bad for that. Hey, look. So Derek Queen being able to fill a void that they're going to have in Atlanta is important at this point because Clint Capella is aging. They got Zachary Ricochet, and they still have Trey. They picked up Kristaps Porzingis, and now they have another legitimate center. So if you look at the team that they have right now in Atlanta, Atlanta being in the East and the East being wide open, they can make some noise in the East. First of all, Trey can get you to the playoffs by himself in the East because he's that dynamic of a player, a scorer and a passer. And Trae Young is really going to bring out the best in Derek Queen, seeing as though how he is a lob threat and he has good hands. I mean, he's not just a super above the rim player, but the fact that he has good hands and able to catch the ball in traffic, that's going to allow for the Atlanta Hawks to make some noise. Let's see what. Let me hear what Monica's saying. I can tell y'all what Monica's talking about over here.
here. So I understand the pick from New Orleans. It was trending this way. I think there were other teams right behind this pick that were ready to pull the trigger on Queen, and instead New Orleans made its move, and it gets this guy.
Matt, I'm curious your take on this, because we have another situation where a kid's got to wear another hat that he's not going to play for. Like, doesn't that steal the moment? Like, you're not going to Atlanta, you're going to New Orleans. What is taking so long?
San Antonio takes Carter Bryant.
It's patently ridiculous.
San Antonio
this goes
just
back.
went crazy.
I think that it's probably been a thing since the
You
beginning
talk about
of the
who
draft.
won the draft.
Scottie Pippen did this with the Bulls way back in the day when he was Scott Pippen when he got
You are
drafted.
going to talk
It
about
seems like
Carter
it should be a
Bryant.
simple fix. I know for official purposes they have to process the trade and all that, but when everyone knows where he's going to go, have him on draft night, get photographed.
When you talk about who won the draft, you're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs. You're going to mention the fact that Carter Bryant also, along with Dylan Harper, going to pair up with Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. And this is a draft that you're going to remember for a long time. When it comes down to the Spurs reestablishing themselves as a staple in the NBA and the reemergence of the San Antonio Spurs as a legitimate threat in the West. A legit 3-and-D player, like a legit 3-and-D player, to pair up with Victor Wembanyama, because he's going to be a pest from anywhere he attacks the defense. I mean, and from a defensive perspective, he is a playmaker, and it doesn't hurt to have, the alien backing you up in the paint. So 39.5-inch max vertical, right? So you pair that with You pair that with Victor Wembanyama and one of the best defensive point guards in the league, and you pair that with, that team in San Antonio is looking crazy. That team in San Antonio is looking crazy. And not only that, the two picks that they picked make San Antonio very intriguing in the hunt for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Because now we're, obviously the pick loses a little value after you draft them, but when those draft picks are Dylan Harper and Carter Bryant, hey, look, and you get to keep Castle. You still got De'Aaron Fox. You just built a very Oklahoma City-like type team in San Antonio in 1 year. So if you look at what San Antonio has, they have a team that can match up with Oklahoma City. They got De'Aaron Fox. Can he match up with Shea? Absolutely. I know Shea is the best player in the league, but is Shea the best player in the league because he's just hands and feet above De'Aaron Fox? De'Aaron Fox is a very, very good point guard. Maybe as far as, the height and being able to attack from everybody. I mean, he's a big shot maker. He won Clutch Player of the Year 2 years ago. He's still swiping the Fox. He still led the league in steals for past. I mean, not these last year, but 2 years before that, he led the league in steals. You add that with Stephon Castle and Dylan Harper, Carter Bryant, Victor Wembanyama, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell. They have a team that really can make some noise in the West. And I don't know that Houston is better than the San Antonio Spurs at this time. I mean, because if you look at it and you say, what is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? What is his strong suit? The mid-range. You're going to shoot that mid-range over Victor Wembanyama? Let's see you try it. Let's see you try to shoot the mid-range over Victor when he's protecting the rim. Because he can stand at the rim and block your shot if you 10 feet out. I mean, literally. If he's standing inside the semicircle or right in front of the semicircle, and you're going to shoot a, 11, 12, 10-foot jumper, that's going to get blocked by Victor Wembanyama. And to get that close, you got to get past Carter Bryant. To get that close, you got to get past swipe of the Fox. To get that close, you got to, so San Antonio is looking very, very intriguing as a defensive team now and as an offensive team, how they just added a great 3-and-D player to their lineup. Speaking of the Oklahoma City Thunder, the champions of the 2024-25 season are officially on the clock. And with the 15th pick of the 2025 draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Thomas Sorber. Thomas Sorber from Georgetown. This is crazy. Listen. They are insane right now in Oklahoma City. And if they have to get rid of somebody, the best GM in the league just made it very easy for them to get rid of somebody if they have to. 1 steal and 2 blocks. I'm not at all surprised by the great drafting from Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, at 15, this is a great pickup. but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much.
With this type of size.
All right. Well, he says he's going to come in and do whatever is asked of him in Oklahoma City. So, look, that's what they need. They're just coming off an NBA championship. Thomas Sorber headed to Oklahoma City. All right. Now we are at number 16, which that belongs to Portland, not Memphis, even though you're going to see somebody put on a Memphis hat here. It's actually going to the Portland Trailblazers. As you take a look at the best available right here, Adam, who jumps off the board to you?
Well, those three guys that I just mentioned, Jean Berija, Liam McNeely, and Walter Clayton, I think are the best big, wing, and guard on the board right now.
Anybody stand out for you there on that board?
Well, Jonas is available from my board at this point. I did not expect him to still be available at this point in the draft. Almost regardless of the franchise right now, I would be, regardless of if he was in my mind heading into this thing, he has fallen this far, I would be prepared to scoop him up.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have our pick in. It is Young Hansen out of China, 7'2", 250 pounds, heading to the Portland Trailblazers. What do we need to know about this young man?
Well, you need to know that he's 19 years old. He averaged 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 3 assists per game, along with 3 blocks in the Chinese CBA. But this is higher than anyone projected. I mean, this is a swing of epic proportions. And what's slightly perplexing about this is it comes on the heels of drafting Donovan Clingan a year ago. Now, listen, I understand that Robert Williams and DeAndre Ayton are not in the long-term plans for Portland, but if you're Donovan Clingan and you're sitting at home right now, you got to be thinking, what just happened?
Right. Yeah. And
what just happened?
This is a surprise. I don't think you can find a mock draft that would have had this prospect in the top 20. Most don't even have him in the first round. He's 7 foot. He's 250. He's huge. And he's more of a traditional post player, crafty around the rim, all of that stuff. But one of the problems with being this big is that his feet don't move that well. And there are real concerns around among NBA evaluators who just don't know if you're going to be able to keep him on the court because he does not move the way you want NBA players, even front court players, to move in this era of basketball.
And I don't think this is a scenario where you can talk about those guys playing together. You know, neither one is especially mobile. This is we've had some surprises tonight. This is the biggest surprise, bar none, that we've had so far tonight.
Are you ready to hand out a failing grade?
No.
You don't want to?
No. Mike Schmitz knows more about this than I do. I will say this. I'll go C, just because stay consistent with the philosophy of if it hits, it's going to be an A, and they're going to be smarter than anyone. But if it doesn't hit, everybody's going to look at this and say, Kasparis was on the board, Liam McNeely was on the board, Walter Clayton was on the board, and Berija was on the board. And you just took Clingan last year.
Matt Norlander, makes sense of this for us. This is quite a surprise here for the Portland Trailblazers. What do you got?
Okay, yeah, a couple things here. One, I'm getting indications that a player that Adam just mentioned, Jean Berija, is due to be selected next here. That was the foreign-born player that was expected to be next in line, not here. And just hearing from a league source here, like Portland, we'll see what develops here. I know they had trouble bringing some players in this range because, fair or not, this is just the opinion shared with me by some league sources and on the agency side as well. There's a lot of questions about the direction Portland is in, the state it is in right now. I know a few players in the representation were not overly eager to have their players drafted into Portland. Maybe these things are all tied and connected, but yes, if I tell you what, if Igor Demin going to Brooklyn was a 6.8 on the shocking scale out of 10. This registers around a 9.5 overall. I can tell you just because I got a couple texts here on my phone, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm the most absolutely connected NBA insider. Very, very far from it. But I've got a few connections, and I can guarantee you that people around the league are shaking their heads and texting each other right now, going, "What on earth is Portland doing?"
What on earth is Portland doing? Yeah, I'd have to echo that sentiment.
Well, the one thing I would add to that is that, Mike understands what the reaction to this pick is going to be. They understand, folks, right now
They know
around.
more than we do. Let's be clear. Yeah.
They understand what the reaction is.
Do they though? Sometimes, because sometimes I could redraft. Sometimes we could. You and I, all three of us, could redraft the draft, and we would look smarter than some of these GMs. Nico Harrison just traded away Luka Doncic, so it's not out of the question.
About that.
I know, but my point is sometimes GMs and front offices overthink these things, and sometimes that's why we as fans get so excited and so invested. We go, "This guy doesn't know what he's doing," because there are these situations right here. We go, "What is this guy doing?"
To your point, there have definitely been examples of people running NBA franchises who do not know what they're doing. My only point is that when you are Portland and you are going to do this, you know exactly what everybody's going to say the moment you do it, that it's stupid or nonsensical or a big stretch. That means you have to have real belief in what you're doing to do it. You've got to really believe in what you're doing to do this, and I give them credit for that. Now we'll see where it goes.
All right, let's see what the Minnesota Timberwolves do with the next pick.
John Behringer just went to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Another center from France. 6'11", 235. Versatile center. So, he'll back up Rudy. He's a lot quicker than Rudy, so and he'll feel at home because he's playing with a guy that he probably looks up to. But I want to talk about the Hansen pick a little bit because obviously people are, tripping out because they didn't expect it. But that's the exact kind of pick that I think shakes up the league because they're trying to bring him in under the radar and nobody was thinking that he was going to get picked. But it was somebody who thought about picking him. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was OKC. And you look at the way he passes the ball and the way he contests shots at his height. And also, the thing that sticks out to me is both of those teams, Memphis and Portland, just drafted a guy that was over 7'2" last year or the year before last. So, in the Reed Shepherd draft. So that was last year. So, that part sticks out. But I also think that Hansen is going to be, he has certain traits, where he has a higher ceiling and a very low floor. But I think he can sneak below the radar and really make some noise if he plays up to his potential. And, even Yi Jan Lin, he wasn't what he was supposed to be, but he was always exciting to see if he would be. So that's what we're getting. We're getting one of those kind of players to if he lives up to what he's supposed to be, this could be very, very big for the Portland Trailblazers and for China in general. And for the NBA, bringing another Chinese star back to the NBA, and we know how the NBA Chinese stars get love, bro. Chinese stars in the NBA get love. And so I'm happy to see another Chinese star make it back to the NBA, and I hope he lives up to his potential. Big Yao fan, big Jeremy Lin fan, big EJ Lin fan. And now I'll be watching Hansen to see if he lives up to, those things that we really think he can do. soul, no grandstanding. Rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, in the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't ask. Red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding. So the number 18th pick is being traded to the Utah Jazz. And the Utah Jazz will be selecting let's see, who are the Utah Jazz going to select? Walter Clayton, is that who's suspected to go? And they say he is clutch with 35 points in clutch time. Now, that boy was a triple threat on the quarterback on the field as a quarterback. Playing safety, playing quarterback. That boy was a goon in football. You know what I think? Anybody that's an elite athlete that played football and basketball, they was awesome at both. If you was an elite athlete, you was awesome at both sports. And if they had him playing baseball or soccer, he'd have looked awesome in that too at high school. If you know those type of guys that was just elite athletes, it didn't matter what kind of jersey or pads they had on. They just looked dominant at anything they did. I had cousins that, you know, ran Olympic times in high school, you know, Olympic long jump distance in high school, and McDonald game, All-Americans, you know, all that stuff. And it didn't matter whether it was a football field or a basketball field. When I saw them play, it was like everybody else was just, you know, unless they had an equally gifted person on that team, they just couldn't match up. Okay. And he goes to Washington. Walter Clayton Jr. goes to Washington to play alongside Alex Sor and they drafted I'm drawing a blank. The guy they just drafted a little while ago. But I think it's considered the other little guard. So they're actually building a new team in Washington. And you don't know if these guys are gonna be awesome, but you got almost lottery pick, a guy who could have been a lottery pick. If two things change, Walter Clayton is a lottery pick. You got a lottery pick. You got a second overall pick last year or the year before last. And you traded Jordan Poole, got rid of him. So I'm not shocked to see all these teams just stacking up on young players, because if you look at the teams that's at the top of the league right now, Oklahoma City, Houston Rockets, Memphis Grizzlies, Orlando Magic, Detroit Pistons. These are teams that have young players. And this is the time to get young players and compete. Because you want to be able to get under the apron, make sure you stay under the apron. You know, you don't get your tax or whatever. Because if you get the tax, you can't do this and you can't do that. You know what I mean? Like Lil Wayne, and you can't do this and you can't do that. That should be the apron song. When you get there, as soon as you hit that first apron and you can't do this and you can't do that, and you hit that second apron, they definitely got to play it. What they call it? The Devil's Gate, or the whatever that, the Devil's Church, whatever they call it. So he's going to Utah? I thought he was going to Washington. If Walter Clayton Jr. is going to Utah with Ace Bailey and Larry Markkinen and Walker Kessler, then what you have is another one of those teams that next year could really compete. I mean, not compete, but they really can make some noise next year if they live up to their potential. All these things are contingent upon what kind of coach you have. If these guys are hard workers and they live up to the potential that they have, because let me tell you what's happening, what I see. What I see is the league is drafting so many young players. So many young players come in the league at the same time that there aren't any extremely dominant players that's just better than them. Right? So what is it that I'm pointing to? I'm saying if I draft this year and 60 guys come in the league and they're 1 year removed from being the best 60 guys in college, and the 60 guys that were drafted last year are in the league and they're getting playing time, and then the 60 guys that were before them are in the league and they're getting playing time. So you actually have 180 out of the 300 and something players in the league that just came within the last 3 years. This is why people are saying there's not a lot of OGs in the league, because every year you're bringing in like 60 guys and a lot of them are getting playing time. Maybe not all 60, but you look at a good, all the first rounders are getting playing time. All the, most of the second rounders, a lot of them will get playing time. They might do some time in the G League, but they're still going to be good picks that come out and get playing time. So 3 years of people are all 3 years removed from playing. And those older players are in the league and they're dominant, but it's only because they're older players. And they're starting to weed out of the league little by little by little. Is that Rich Paul? Little by little, they're starting to come out of the league. And as they come out of the league, those players that are younger, only become 4 years removed from the group that's coming in. 5 years removed from the group that's coming in. If you got guys that's in the league and the rookies come in and they're 5 years apart, and I'm not talking about age, I'm talking about removed from college. Yes, you learn a lot, you gain a lot of weight, you work very hard within those 5 years, but you're only 5 years removed from a guy that's gonna come in and do the exact same thing. So why is that important? What that means is when they talk about parity in the league, well, here's where the parity really comes from. The parity really comes from these older players that start to make too much money. You're going to be trying to move them off your team and get a bunch of young guys, and there are going to be a bunch of young guys on your team. And so now you get 3, 4, 5 young guys on your team, and by year 3 or 4, they're able to compete. Because the team that's been together, the guys that's been together 9 or 10 years are getting older. And the team that came in with them, they've gotten traded off into other places, so the continuity ain't there. And so now you got your main 2 players that you drafted within the 2-year span. They together, you bring in 3, 4 guys and that's on another team. They come in together, and by year 2 or 3, 4 or 5, they're already starting to compete. The team that's been together 9 years, they only got 2 guys or 3 guys. One of those guys get hurt, then they can't compete. So the league is really jacked up in this sense, but it looks like it's, getting better because it's more competitive, but it's really only getting younger and more diverse as far as the amount of players that can be put on a team just through the draft.
rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos bust. And the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust. In the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust. In the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't mess. Red alert, red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust. And the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust. And the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust. In the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust. In the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't mess. Red alert, red alert, red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
All right, Casper and Giannis just went to Miami. And this is a great pick for Miami, man. Great pick for Miami. This dude can get off that rock, man. This dude can really get off the rock. You know, they talk about his, the problems that he do have. But as far as being able to swing that rock, being able to, really being able to really dice up your defense and move the ball and create with his eyes and his awareness. Look. I like his flair, man. Look, I love a guy that'll just do a creative pass. And that bounce pass between the legs to the man behind you, that's classic point guard stuff. You gotta be able to do that. You gotta be able to pass the ball to the man behind you between your legs without looking. Because once you manipulate the defense and you already got them backing up, it's the easiest pass. It's the easiest pass on a fast break. It's the easiest pass when you split the defense and the defense is trying to, cut you off at the rim. And I love a guy that pass with that flair. And to think that maybe, we got us another Jay Williams coming in, somebody who ain't scared to do it. Hey, more power to him, man. Let's get it. Hey, it's crazy out here, man. What in the Sam Sneezy? Let me give y'all a little bit of this right here. Y'all can hear what they're saying right quick.
You know what they're doing? They're rebuilding without bottoming out because they're nailing the draft. It is 100% key. It's key to maintaining your fan base, to maintaining the local interest, and it's also key to the culture that they are trying to build there because Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, by extension, they're not interested in tanking. And because they've hit the draft, the irony of this is Pat Riley was once on record as saying he didn't believe in the draft. And they are nailing the draft. Tyler Herro, Jaime Jaquez, Khalil Ware. Now they get Kasparis Giannis. They drafted Bam. I mean, they are building through the draft like very few other teams in the NBA, and give them all the credit in the world.
All right, well, hat tip again to the Miami Heat. Kasparis Giannis doesn't have to change his hat. He can keep rocking that Miami Heat one. Matt Norland alongside with us here on CBS Sports HQ as we continue our draft coverage. Up next at 21, the Utah Jazz on the clock. What are they going to do? We're about to find out here on CBS Sports HQ.
Utah Jazz is on the clock again. Listen, if y'all don't think Utah Jazz gonna have a good team, y'all smoked out.
The 2025 CBS Sports NFL
Totally smoked out. The Utah Jazz is pushing to build a contender.
Your goals has nothing to do with discipline. The real culprit
Utah
is
Jazz is pushing to build a contender.
Unlike what most people believe, it
I
isn't
don't
because of laziness
for
or
one
poor
second
discipline, but it's a lack of
believe
direction and purpose that leaves
that
you feeling stuck
if
and
you sleep
overwhelmed.
on this
That's why
team,
the highest achievers set micro goals, small actionable milestones that lead to one big.
I don't
goal. But
think
now
you're
the question
smart.
is, how do you know what micro goals to set?
I don't
Because
think you're
planning
smart.
a solid roadmap
First of
can
all,
take
Danny
hours or
Ainge
even
know how to
days.
pick 'em.
That's why I use an AI project planner called Motion. It creates all my micro goals for anything I want to achieve. Let's say I want to do a bodybuilding show in 6 months' time. I simply create a new project, prompted the details details of my goal
Danny
and what I
Ainge
want
know
to
how to
achieve.
pick players,
Now
bro.
Motion will give me a detailed
Not
breakdown
only
of
do he know how to
actionable steps
pick
to take,
players,
while even
he
blocking out time on my
also
calendar to make sure I hit
know
my
how to make
milestones along the
trades,
way.
make
Becoming a high
moves,
achiever has never
get
been
that
easier, so try Motion for free
that
today.
cap how he want that cap to look.
September 5.
And
Paramount Plus.
I'm not sleeping on Danny Ainge, bro. Don't sleep on Danny Ainge.
On
He'll pull something out and you ain't expecting. You know, just like old boy from Golden State say, Danny Ainge always calling him, asking him, you know, what you gonna do with Curry? You know, what you want to do with Steph Curry? You gonna trade him to me today or what? Like really?
The Shot. New season streaming May 16th, only on the Paramount Plus with Showtime plan.
These are the voyages of the Patrick Starship Enterprise. Where's the sponge?
So I think, you know, it's good enough to believe that
Weird dream.
Whether you like
they haven't been good. It's not good enough to believe that they won't be good. They will be good.
Novocaine is now streaming on
100%. They will be good.
It's wildly entertaining and an absolute.
They're gonna get better.
Novocaine, rated R, now streaming on Paramount Plus.
I wasn't ready to die.
The wait is over.
I need to know what happened.
Discover the mystery everyone's been talking about.
Oh, my bad. Hey, look, man. Charge it to my head, not to my heart, man. We in here.
Plus.
What's he like? The happy faced killer?
You mean my dad?
The happy face, man.
You think that you're so much better than me. You're just like your old man.
I'm not like you at all.
Problem solved. Mobland, new series now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Okay. So Utah is drafted right now. And with the 21st pick of the 2025 NBA draft, the Utah Jazz select Will Riley from Illinois. Hey, that's a lot of light skins going, man. They trying to make up. What's that Rich Paul? Man, Rich Paul everywhere, man. That boy Rich Paul everywhere. He's standing behind every draft pick at this point. A lot of light skins out here, man. Light skins brothers getting their get back. they light skinned brothers getting their get back, man. They had a rough year. Will Riley, man. I don't know about Will Riley, but look. The Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year, Will Riley, is going to the Utah Jazz. Utah is definitely building something, bro. We don't know exactly what it's going to come out to be, but they building something. Believe it or not. And Will Riley goes to Utah. Atlanta Hawks is on the clock. 3 minutes and 16 seconds to go for the 22nd pick. I wonder what everybody thinking, man. Like, did your team do good? The team, did they pick up somebody that you were excited to see? I don't know. I don't know. So chime in, leave a comment. If you made it this far into the video, saw something, you wanted to touch on, leave a comment. Like and subscribe if you made it this far. Because it's only going to get better, it's only going to get better. I'm going to stay bringing what I can bring to y'all and keep y'all informed of what I can keep y'all informed on. And you never know, down the line, some of these guys that we watching in this draft might end up being available in the future for the Houston Rockets to pick up. And you'll want to know, hey, guy went in the draft, he went this, and how did he look when he came out the draft? What was said about him? Hey.
soul, no grandstanding. But the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body hold 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much.
Okay, let's see who we have. I think it's gonna be Rasheer. Drake Powell, where did he come from? I did not expect Drake Powell. A 6'5" 3-and-D wing. out of North Carolina. Drake Powell is going to the Atlanta Hawks.
Base. You don't even have to make it a great pass, WD. You just throw it anywhere. Wow. He has the ability to go get it. Man.
9 for 16 now for the field. Shador splits the 2. Tough throw now by the freshman Drake Powell.
I mean, look, he's got a great feel for the game. I say he's kind of a floor gamer. He makes the right decisions, always looking for the open man, has great poise.
And Carolina still has not hit from deep.
It's a good miss, though.
Oh, my goodness. Just two-hand grab by Powell.
It was pretty good. Small's kind of,
yeah. Technically, it's a block. Best brothers from Pittman batter and the Raptors at Bryce Gordon Center yet.
Oh, wow, what was that?
Cadeau, Spinorama, and then Powell.
They're really finding it. They're getting this American team to chase, and there's a lot going on there. That's a special play. Powell can't get that foot.
It's like every shot he's taking.
But there's more to the story there. It doesn't matter whether he makes it or not.
I'm not disagreeing with you. Another two-hand demolition.
To be lethal, but look at the block. How many dudes go up two-hand blocks?
The importance of what's efficient and how they track all their different shot types, etc. You're seeing it more and more in the college game.
Yeah, but also, Nate Oates has higher guys really good areas. You see the great pass right there.
11.5 points a game.
I mean, think about what this team looks to have been if Bledsoe didn't get hurt. I mean, they also have Chris Youngblood coming back. He's a transfer to USF. He provides.
Mustaf cut to the basket and was able to finish.
R.J. Davis.
Had a chance to tie it, so break the record, Tom.
Davis has started perfect. 3 for 3 from the field. Powell didn't see Lubin inside. Deep shot clock, Davis. Foul, and he hits another. Drake Powell pull up pop, got it.
Back-to-back buckets by the rookies. Always looking downhill, trying to drive into the paint, get a piece of the paint.
And then
just
you
like
can
that.
pass it off. Drake Powell the finish, but it was all set up. Here's Javon Hadley, spins past Withers, tried to find Smith in the corner, knocked away.
RJ Davis read that hammer screen action on the backside perfectly to get North Carolina the steal and the layup.
First turnover Louisville has committed since the 13-12 mark of the first quarter. They've
Well, good job by Notre Dame to get back here. That's one of the keys as well. Transition defense.
Animated coaching from Hubert Davis throughout. Oh, thread the needle. What a cut. What a pass. And Powell pounds home the dunk.
Good action, both ends of the floor. Davis.
And a double team help forces a turnover. 5 of them now for the Mustangs. And Cadeau off the Powell pass.
That's perfectly executed, West. You wait till the big guy starts dribbling the ball, then you attack him, and they knock the ball away and get an easy one down on the other end.
Carolina about 14. Powell trying to take Cross off the bounce. Fights through and scores. What a tough move and score for the freshman Drake Powell. Ian Jackson's got 7 now. Quick look, Miller had it blocked. Did Edwards. Now Davis on the run. Through traffic, and Miller called for the block, score the basket.
That was
And
a heck of a
New
sequence.
Orleans
North Carolina.
Pelicans
A great
are
defense.
selecting
Attacks with the dribble. Inbounds pass. Parker couldn't
Let's
handle it. Here's
see.
Powell the other way. Bounce
In the
pass.
New
Davis goes
Orleans
up and under.
Pelicans
And Washington on the rebound for Carolina. Quick
post
Cadeau,
trade.
transition
Derek
to Powell.
King,
Straight down the lane off the window.
13 pick in the draft,
This year,
23rd
how
pick.
it wasn't a struggle. I mean,
The Hawks
Pittsburgh and Wake Forest should have been in
received.
the tournament last year.
So
So if you're talking about 5 this year, and what was
23rd, 24th. This pick is going to the Hawks.
Rejected by Powell.
they're not concerned about what the numbers look like. They're going to do everything.
And this Hawks pick to be going to let's see, who did they draft?
Red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
So Will Riley and Walton Clayton Jr. just got switched. Asa Newell just goes to the New Orleans Pelicans. Asa Newell just goes to the New Orleans Pelicans.
Able to convert there, but I like him getting downhill, being aggressive.
Go for the alert on that weak side.
Followed up. Malawatch couldn't secure it. No good.
That's selfish play, though. Got a trail here if you want it.
Grabbed by Roach. Stop and go. Kick. But the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body, hold 12 lurk. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust in the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't mess.
Asa Newell being described as a relentless player over and over again. The forward from Georgia goes to New Orleans. And your 2025 NBA champions are on the clock again with 4 minutes remaining for pick 24. Light skinned brothers back. NBA gonna be full of a bunch of yellow hammers out there playing basketball with hair. There's a bunch of yellow hammers with hair just playing hard. Hey, you know what I mean? You do a lot of flexing with no muscles, bro. I don't understand that. Why do you gotta be flexing like they cut or they swole up? They don't be having no muscles, son. I understand it's a strong move you just made. You just finished through contact or whatever, but you finished through contact, man. I mean, that's basketball. No reason to flex. You didn't body nobody. It's not like you just big man nobody. Just did something. You did something what you're supposed to do. Mm. Bang, bang, bang. He didn't move his man, but he got the shot off. Stared him down, playing with a lot of energy. Ace Newell out there looking good. Footwork. He got feet work out there.
Catch
24th overall pick is going to the Sacramento Kings. The Oklahoma City have traded that pick. Neek Clifford.
Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
Only played in 7 games and only 3 minutes a game in those 7 games. Clifford!
Clifford spinning. Counted and one. What a move.
That's a big miss on the front end for a 75% free throw shooter. Still a 2-point Ram lead. Green safe from Clifford. Wait a minute. That's got to be some kind of mistake.
Oh.
Very impressive showcase.
Oh, it's big keys for us today. Yeah, even though they beat them that last game at Boise State, they got hurt on the glass. Clifford. Clifford spinning. Counted and the foul.
Enjoy the madness that we all get ready to enjoy. There's one guy that was never on the bubble. Gene Sterling.
That's a lot. Get him cut. Reverse it.
Clifford.
Turnaround. Tough shot. It's good.
Evans to Clifford. Cardenas defending. Neek Clifford. Most recent win. They were picked 7th in this league and finish as the 2 seed with a win tonight. Clifford calls his own basket. Clifford just picked up his first foul. Goes to work on Meta. Hits the brakes. Hits the chip.
Because there's more space in the middle of the floor. Clifford, baseline drive, falling away. That's up good. They're not afraid to go 10, sometimes 11 deep. Clifford, why not? I mean, you can't.
Yeah, this Neek Clifford character is, I have no idea who he is, but it seems to me that he don't mind shooting the ball in traffic. And they talk about his defense and averaging 10 rebounds at 6'5". I mean, I haven't seen the rebounds, and I've seen him post up guys, and I've seen him shoot the ball with guys draped all over him. He's going to Sacramento, as far as I know. He has a very Josh Hart type feel to me. But I mean, looks like he's just gonna be able to just get off his shot no matter where he's at. I don't know if he's gonna shoot, be very efficient, but he's an underrated athlete, and with a motor to go and get 10 rebounds a game, he's a workaholic. So whatever he's lacking, he's gonna correct it in the league. So I don't think, I don't think whatever deficiencies he have is gonna hold him down. I don't think being drafted at 24 is gonna age well. He looks like one of the guys that's gonna be consistently thought of as the kind of guy that can contribute to a winning team. He's going to be one of those guys that you say, on a team that's winning, he can fit right in. Maybe not a star player, but if you have a team that has good pieces, he's going to be that guy, that Courtney Lee, Josh Hart type player that can fit right in and impact, have a positive impact on your team. With the 25 pick in the in 2025 draft, the Orlando Magic select Jace Richardson.
Rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, get your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos bust, and the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Rush, but the prayers ain't much. Red alert, catch your body whole 12 alert. If I shoot, I murk, get yourself so touched. Red alert, where the angels clutch heat, where the halos rust, in the ops rush, but the prayers ain't much. Don't ask.
He is definitely one of these lefty players that don't mind putting the ball in the air. He definitely don't. It's like he definitely has the confidence of a former player's offspring, and you see him just taking whatever shot that he can get at any time. When he gets the ball, it's like he doesn't care what the defense is trying to do. He's going to be able to get a shot off, and he's not afraid to take that shot. He doesn't have, you know, the athleticism that his dad had, obviously. He's a little bit smaller of a guard, but you see flashes of the great small guards in the way he plays. Just the awareness, the footwork right there, you know, the mindfulness to know how much time he has from the gather to the full extension on his shot to get that shot off. And Jason Richardson is really he's really likely to be a surprise pickup here at this position late in the draft at 25. You know, it reminds me of when the Rockets got Ty Washington, and obviously he wasn't a shooter; he was more of a passer. But it was you know, when you see him play, you just wonder, will he get the playing time on his respective team? I think Jason Richardson going to Orlando is going to help them out a lot. Obviously, they moved Cole Anthony and Contavious Caldwell Pope, so they might have, you know, they may have bench minutes open in the next year or so. I wouldn't be surprised to see him really light it up in the summer league. And if he lights it up in the summer league, it's right for him to get burned alongside of Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. Is going to be outrageously loud in the city of Orlando. Brooklyn is on the clock again. Brooklyn is just going to have calluses on their hands from all the high fives and just the absorbent amount of celebrating that they're doing, you know, in that war room. What, the 8th anniversary of the draft? Is that what they said? Brooklyn on the clock for back-to-back picks, bro. It's funny that the Rockets had Phoenix's picks, and I think they would have done better with Brooklyn's picks. This draft, maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, maybe those Phoenix picks will mean more. But they did absolutely nothing in the first round. Ben Saraf.
Pogađa Saraf, može da ubrza napad Ulma. On je ritam tu protiv Cipsera koji ga je faulirao.
Trenerio Rob izbaca napadu. Danas 8. Saraf napada Gatesa, lep pokret. Saraf.
Za Juventud.
Igra 1-1. Saraf, lep pokret. Saraf protiv Kraga. Pokazuje da mu se raširi. Saraf, menja promjena, odlazi do kraja. Preuzeo Tomić, ima veliki mismeč ovde Ben Saraf.
Saraf.
Za 3 se izvlači Izraelac.
Stark von Ben. Defensivakteure von Sopot, aber die sind schnell wieder vollzählig in der Rückwärtsbewegung. Saraf, ja. Hat kurz geguckt, ob er den Wurf anbringen kann, Marcelo Santos. Am Ende ist es Saraf. Saraf. Oh, der. Saraf mit Herknoch wieder im Duett. Oh.
Klammer in die Zone, Kickout, klasse Ballbewegung und jetzt Jessup, Saraf, 11 Sekunden, Crossover, Spin Move, stopped up, Saraf, da ist er!
Jessup protiv Velpa, malo je stala sada kombinatorika domaće momčadi, ali traži Herkenkov. Šaraf, trica Šarafa, malo je stala.
30 points apiece. Again, great movement of the ball. Oh, the no-look pass from Smith is not the percentage play.
I'm just not blown away by Saraf. You know, this is one of those picks that, hey, we picked him. And maybe he surprises everybody, but you know, this is one of those picks where obviously the scouts probably know something we don't know. But every now and again they get these guys and it's like, you know, let's just pick a guy that we feel like might shock somebody or that might just draw eyes to our team and get us extra fans, because at the end of the day, it's all about, you know, it's a business. And this might be one of those business picks. Brooklyn is back again. Asa Newell for Dairy Queen. Danny Wolf goes to Brooklyn. Oh my God. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. If you don't know Danny Wolf is a shooter. Danny Wolf is going to light it up Danny Wolf is going to be that prototypical shoot your eyes out white boy that you know the fundamental shot is coming when he plants both feet. Those feet hit the ground, you have to worry about taking the ball out the net. That's just what it is. I mean, there's nothing to even worry about. From the time he plant both feet, you have to worry about can you get the ball out the net, because Danny Wolf is a shooter. And he's joining the Brooklyn Nets.
Tournament and even won a game against Auburn, but he's truly come into his own this season at Michigan. Guys blocking out, but you got to secure the rebound.
Blackwell blocked again. Wolf with a second. Klesman finds it. Winter had it blocked inside. Wolf left alone. Now he'll hoist and hit. Andre bounce it inside. Oh, Wolf erased it at the rim. With a rim protection from Wolf. So replay here at Kohl Center. Oh, the hook inside from Wolf. It's a Russian rim rattler. Back to Wolf. Full head of steam. Oh, wow.
How about the feed and the finish? The crossover taken away, blocked by Wolf.
Jump hook, pretty move. Danny Wolf has stood out with much more than just his skill, though. His motor has been on display. Plays hard every night, gets to the offensive glass at a pretty high clip, and defensively has been quite impressive from what we saw last year at Yale to what he's doing this season at Michigan. He's a unicorn-like player that stands at 7 foot tall, has the size of a front court player, but has the handle of a guard, something you really don't see in college basketball. The Vlad Golden, Danny Wolf two-man action with pick and roll has been so effective. We've seen it in Wisconsin, we saw it against Arkansas. It's something that Dusty May is starting to really go to, and Michigan has something that opponents are just not used to seeing with 2 7-footers playing in ball screen action. The way he's played at the University of Michigan, Danny Wolf has seen his NBA stock explode through the roof.
Gale can't take advantage. Wolf inside, cleans it up. Michigan in front. On the clock, he's going to have to work against the 7-footer. In the paint, Wolf inside. Wolf tracked it the entire way. Spin, kick, Wolf, pump, puts it up. Oh, he puts it in. In there. Skip it. Wolf, pump, drive. Wolf, attack mode. 11th 20-point game of the season. Wolf, right to the rack. And a chance for 3. 7-footer. Wolf, cross, drive. Wolf, that's ridiculous. Somerville starts out 0 for 2. That's all size right there. Man, man. Burnett, great there we go. Look to Wally on half court. Wolf, that's what they need to be doing. Been calling for that all night. Finds Wolf. To Burnett for the win. Got it!
That ball hit every spot on the rim.
Wolf attacking. Wolf with the hammer backing out.
That's why the middle of the floor is better, because there's no help on the backside.
Here's Wolf. He has to step back for 3. Burnett with 6 to shoot. Here's Wolf. 4 on the shot clock. Needs some help. Wolf. Oh, what a step back for 3. And it's
Roddy Gale Jr.
Gonzalez. 8-3 koliko je Unikaka koja je upisala 2 poraza. Šus Mateo, Ljulj za Gonzaleša. Nastavka Campazzo za Deka. Nije zabio tek, ali 5 sekundi za napad. Gonzalez, težak je to šut. Krenula je posljednja četvrtina. Prvi napad ima Real. Gonzalez.
Ριμπάκα, πάρα πολύ ωραία πάσα. Λάθος του Κόφμαν. Πήρε ο Γκονζάλες. Έχει φύγει ο Σεγιόνια, ο Ισπανός πάει mόνος του.
Štedjela je kontra koju su na kraju iskoristili. I sjajna Tavares za Gonzaleza, to će biti cross foul. Iako nisam siguran iako su od početka zapravo u zaostatku. Gonzalez i baka u bloku, Gonzalez se prošetao. Kraljevi kada su na parketu zajedno Felizija Balde. Dek za Ibaku koji je potpuno sam i baka za Gonzaleza, Gonzalez.
Gonzalez potegnuo tricu i po 16 lopti izgubila Murcia. Samo da vidimo ovu tricu Feliza, ništa. Ali Gonzalez, da vidimo može li Fernando preko Plajsa, ne, ali
Paco, posljednje 2 minute u prvoj četvrtini Hugo Gonzalez u prodaru i Gonzalez već je 5 minuta iza nas u drugom poluvremenu. Sina je istih vremena za napade, a Balde ništa, ali
Bruno Fernando curi vrijeme za napad. Fernando opet na silu želi riješiti i troši Ljulj. Hugo Gonzalez pogađa u Dižonu Fratu.
Red alert, yeah. Got the dirt on my soul, no grandstanding.
Listen, 5, 6, maybe down the road, maybe not even 2 years, maybe.
I love Danny. When he was in high school, I told everybody he was a high major player. Nobody listened to me. He went to Yale. But if we're calling him an NBA All-Star, yeah, that's
I'm saying the best chance, let's say in the next 5 years, out of that draft class, Yegor Demon, Nolan Traore, Drake Powell, Ben Saroff, and Danny Wolf, who are you going to say, this is the guy in 5 years could be an NBA All-Star?
Do I have to say one of them?
No, you don't have to, but you can make it.
Yeah, I might say zero.
Okay, there you go. Say zero.
It's a hard thing to do, but to Norlander's point, I think I can maybe split the difference here.
Please.
I would stop short of any of these.
I was going to say zero.
Are somebody I expect to be an NBA All-Star, but I don't think it's crazy to think that Danny Wolf could be the best player Brooklyn selected on this night.
It's not crazy.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's not crazy. I mean, there's some unlikely.
It's hard to make an All-Star roster, by the way.
Yeah,
it's very hard. It's very tough to make an All-Star.
But Danny
roster.
Wolf's an All-Star. Good to know.
Okay. Well, maybe he will be. Maybe he will.
That's gonna be the clip that comes back to get you. That one right there.
Very upset a couple minutes ago. He's feeling much better about himself right now.
Well,
I would go with
pick,
yes.
and no one's taking that away from Danny.
I would go with
headed to
Danny Wolf
Brooklyn,
to
part
be
of
an
their
All-Star.
5 selections in the first round. Coming up, the Boston Celtics. The East is wide open.
I would go with
season.
Danny Wolf to
What
be
are
an
the
All-Star.
Celtics going to do here with the 28th overall selection? That's coming up here on CBS Sports HQ, presented by G.
Here we go.
I mean,
the 2025 CBS Sports NFL schedule is here. 18 galore.
if you have to take one of Brooklyn's players,
with rematches. Oh, the player of the year and rivalries. Touchdown, Bengals.
a 7 foot, 250-pound,
Clear your Sundays beginning September
just
7th.
machine of a player
CBS and Paramount Plus.
who has represented FIBA European basketball and won a championship. These guys who come from winning FIBA championships and stuff like that,
is now streaming on Paramount Plus. What are we doing?
you can't ever underestimate these guys because they have a polished style of play, and they've honed that sense of playing in high stakes games over the course of time. And
absolutely sizzles.
maybe they fly under the radar because, you know,
Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
other players have more of this or more of that or more of this or more of that. But or maybe they just one of those guys I just play within the system and I really don't try to get mine. But he's one of those guys that you say I'm gonna make him the focal point of my team. I'm gonna build around him as the anchor to my team. I'm gonna put him in the best position. You know, I got a center, I can put him at the power forward. I got a power forward, I can put him at the center. He can stretch the floor, he can pass the ball, he can block shots.
Is now streaming on Paramount Plus.
Maybe he's not a fleet of foot to guard on the perimeter. Maybe that's a problem for him or not.
Now streaming on Paramount Plus.
But
The wait is over.
I need to know what
they could be sleeping on Danny Wolf.
Everyone's been talking about School Spirits. Every episode of
Liam McNeely.
Plus.
What's he like? The happy-faced killer?
Liam McNeely goes to your Phoenix Suns, bro.
Problem solved.
Listen, I tell you who I don't. Tell you who I don't feel sorry for. I don't feel sorry for Liam McNeely. Liam McNeely is going to a good situation.
Jalen Moore digging in defensively, the senior from Birmingham, Alabama.
Liam McNeely is going to a good situation. He's going to an organization that's trying to rebuild, trying to restructure, and he's going to be on the team with Devin Booker. He's going to be on the team with Dylan Brooks. We don't know if he's going to make that team or not. But in a year that players like Liam McNeely had a great impact on the playoffs, he's what they need. He's what they need. A guy that is fundamental, you know, just cut from that cloth. He's going to do that right there. And, you know, very much in that Braun from Denver, TJ McConnell, you know, that kind of vein. And, you know, he's going to be where he's supposed to be. He's going to play ball the way he's supposed to play ball. And he give you some energy plays here and again, but ultimately, when you have a team like Phoenix and you're trying to build, you know, you already have a Devin Booker, you already have a Jalen Green, you already have a Dylan Brooks. Guess what works? A Liam McNeely. A Liam McNeely somewhere on your bench. You know, somewhere on your practice squad, learning how to be a professional. And when you need him, bang. That's what Liam McNeely's do. When your name is Liam McNeely, that's what you do. And that's what we'll see him do in his NBA career if he makes a team. If he makes the team. But we'll definitely get to see a smidgen of that. We'll definitely get to see a smidgen of that throughout the summer league, and maybe more. So I don't think it's going to be far-fetched to say that Liam McNeely can make a team. And if he does, more power to him. I'm not gonna cry for Liam McNeely right now because I don't think he's in a bad situation. I think he's in a very, very good situation where he can make some noise. I won't expect him to be an all-star or nothing like that, but I do expect him to make some noise, and that, my friends, is a very productive NBA draft. What in the world is going on? Oh, it's over here. Okay. So that might be the end of the draft. The LA Clippers is up next. And I could absolutely care less what the LA Clippers do. As long as they don't try to send James Harden back to play with Kevin Durant, I'm cool with the LA Clippers. That would be the worst case scenario. And it's not that I don't think James Harden is a good player. Is that I don't think we need to add guys to this roster that already are set in their ways. Like Kevin Durant is already set in his ways. If you watch the pod on Locked On Rockets with the guy what's Benjamin the Clown. If you watch that, then he has some things to say about KD and how he felt that KD had certain traits, that kind of he falls into a certain reactionary state according to what's going on. Not that if something's going on, he impacts that thing and makes that thing change to what he wants it to be. And so, okay, so we got Kevin Durant. Ime and Kevin Durant will deal with whatever they have to deal with. I'm not worried about KD and Ime. I'm not worried about KD impacting the guys on the team negatively. But I will tell you this. When Eric Gordon was here, everything that happened, people had to flare their hands up. Why? Because Eric Gordon was the leader on the team, and everything that happened, Eric Gordon always threw his hands up. So everybody started doing that on the team. Now, I'm not saying that we still have that kind of mentality, and I'm not saying that Ime is going to let that go on. By the way, the center from Penn State, Yannick Conan, Niederhauser, just went to Clippers. And I guess that is a backup for Zubac. Hey, backup for Zubac. But what I'm saying is that we have Kevin Durant. I don't know that Ime Udoka wants to deal with James Harden and Kevin Durant. And I don't know that, like, if this is my thing. If you know exactly what a guy brings to the table, then it's not a big deal because teams know what to expect. Not that they can stop it, but if they know if James Harden has the ball, they know two. Wide step, go to the goal floater. Wide step, go to the goal dump off. Step back, 3. Catch the ball, chin up, 3-pointer. we know what James Harden is gonna do. Just like we know what Kevin Durant is gonna do a lot of times. You know, only difference is that Kevin Durant does that at an efficient rate every time he has the ball. Does he miss shots sometimes? Yeah, everybody miss shots sometimes. Does he make more than he misses? Hey, you can expect him to give you what you expect every time. And if a player is not going to give you at least what you expect every time, then that means that the defense just has to be where they expect him to be. Because if they can shut down 15% of the time, the other 15% of the time, he'll shut it down. You know? So I'm not really on the Kevin Durant, James Harden reunion tip. We're not riding that train this year. I hear people talking about reuniting KD and Russ and James all back together in Houston. Why? So they want to have this story. They go to OKC and play them in the Western Conference Finals and get demolished. Because where's your defense? KD, that's it. James not playing no defense. And you know what? I take that back because in the post, James will play defense. One on one, he'll play a little defense. But all that extra, forget about it. All that extra, forget about it. And Udoka not going for that. So look, it's been good. If you didn't get to come up tonight, you didn't get to tune in with me and watch tonight, cool. Join me on my next stream. When it pop up on your screen, you get the notification. Hit the notification so you can be reminded when I'm going to be on. Come here, talk your stuff. Let me know how you feel. You know, you feel like I'm boring? Well, come here and don't be boring. You feel like I don't know what I'm talking about? Come here and challenge me and tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. Pull up your stats. So what's up? Bring your stuff. See what you got to say. Say what you got to say. You think your team is better than my team? Forget about it. You think the Rockets shouldn't try to trade back into this draft? Forget about it. Would I have given up one of our players for that 10th overall pick? Yeah, I would have. I don't know who, but cheese and rice. Anyway, man, I'm on high alert, man. My alarm is on, but the stream, it's over. Good night.